Can I tell you the number one thing I hear from teachers when I ask them about what are they struggling with in the classroom? All right, well, actually, the number one thing is student behavior, but today I'm actually not going to talk specifically about that. I'm going to talk about the second biggest struggle, and that is time. Did you guess it? I hear this so much. I don't have time for one more thing, and it's so true. You don't. Neither do I, and I'm not going to ask you to find it. Today, I want to share with you some of my favorite classroom management tips that don't add a single thing to your plate because they fit inside the time that you already have. And one of them just might change the whole feel of your morning. Hey friends, welcome to Enjoy Teaching Again, the podcast for teachers who love the work but need a little spark to bring the joy back. I'm your host, Elizabeth Peterson, classroom teacher, arts integration specialist, and passionate educator of over 25 years. If you're overwhelmed by behaviors, disengaged students, and long, exhausting days, you are not alone. But together, we can turn things around and you can teach with confidence and purpose again. So locate that cold coffee of yours, find your favorite pen, I know you have one, and let's dive in. It's time to get inspired and enjoy teaching again. My friend, I want to personally invite you into the Classroom Reset. This is my reset framework that is designed to help you improve student behavior, increase engagement, and actually enjoy teaching again in just 6 weeks. Inside, I'm going to walk you through step by step how to build a calm and connected classroom, how to really rethink your classroom culture, how to engage your students in so many creative ways, even if you are required to teach using a scripted curriculum. Yes, I have found ways to make it possible, how to reduce behavior issues without losing yourself in the process, and how to truly support your students' social emotional needs in ways that will not pile more on top of what you're already doing. Listen, you do not have to figure this out all by yourself. Let me help you. I have the entire framework already laid out. All you need to do is walk it with me. So if you're ready for calm, for some clarity, if you're actually ready to enjoy your classroom again, I want you to head over to theinspiredclassroom.com/reset and see if this is right for you. I would love to walk this journey with you. I want to start by saying something pretty clearly because I think a lot of teachers brace for this conversation. I'm not here to tell you to do more. In fact, if anything, some of what I'm about to share is actually about doing less, just in a more intentional place. And as an added bonus, remember that other struggle that I said was actually the number one struggle, student behavior? This is going to help with that too. So by the end of this episode, you're going to have a small handful of real, specific classroom management tips that work inside the time that you already have, and one simple framework to help you decide where to put your energy first. So here's something that so many of us teachers tend to think. If you're going to ask me to do something new, it's going to take more time than I have. Please don't ask me to do anything new. And I understand that belief completely because when you're already stretched thin, already staying late, already eating lunch while answering emails, the idea of adding anything feels genuinely impossible. And I'm not dismissing that, because I have those feelings too. But here's what I've come to see. The classroom management tips that actually move the needle are not the big ones. Instead, they're the small ones, the specific, the intentional ones that plug into moments that are already inside your day, the moments that you're already spending on something. So let me show you what I mean. Think about what the first 5 minutes of your day or your class time actually looks like right now. Maybe you're finishing up attendance while kids are coming in. Maybe you're writing something on the board while answering a question that a kid just came up to ask you. Maybe 3 things are happening at once and none of them are the thing you actually planned to start with. I've been there, man, for years, honestly. I used to rush in, still setting things up as kids were sitting down, half greeting them while looking for something that I needed. And it worked, but it also set a tone, a slightly rushed, reactive tone that I'd spend the rest of the morning trying to actually undo and get them back to a sense of calm. And the shift I made wasn't adding something new. It was protecting those 5 minutes that I was already spending and just spending my energy on the right things. What were those right things? Well, what if those first 5 minutes had a specific job? And that was to give students something calm, independent, and easy to start the moment they walked in, so that you could also be available. Not managing or scrambling things around, available. And that's what I call a soft start. And it is one of the most powerful classroom management tools that I've ever used. And not because it's complicated, but because it changes the energy of everything that comes after it. What happens when students walk into a room that already has something for them to do? Something low pressure, something that they can start without asking you a single question. Their nervous systems will just settle. And the transition from hallway to the classroom, which is one of the most dysregulating moments of the school day, by the way, right? That transition becomes so much smoother. They don't have to wait for your cue. They don't have to decide what to do. They already know because it's a routine and the room kind of just tells them what they need to do. And while that's happening, you get to be present. You get to stand at the door. You can catch the kid who came in already activated. You can have, a 30-second conversation that builds the connection that you've been trying to find the time for all week. 2 things happen at once. Neither one of them require an extra minute. Now, if that sounds intriguing, and I hope it does, I want to invite you to come spend some time with me at the Classroom Reset Challenge. It's happening this July on the 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. It's a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And on day 2, I actually talk about soft starts and what they can look like in real time, the kind that works whether you're teaching 2nd grade or 8th grade, whether you have 5 minutes or 15 minutes. Now, the challenge is completely free. It's 1 hour a day for 3 days. I'm giving PD hours for this, and if you can't make it live, that's okay. The replay are also going to be available. You can grab your spot at the link in the show notes, or you can just go to theinspiredclassroom.com/challenge. Man, I'd love for you to be there because we're going to talk about some really, really great stuff. Now, here's why I'm bringing this up in the context of classroom management tips specifically, because I want you to see what the soft start is actually doing underneath. It's not a time management trick. It's a step inside a much bigger framework, one I call the Reset Framework. And it's the framework that runs through everything I teach inside the Classroom Reset course. Reset stands for 5 steps. And I'll just go over them very, very briefly. R is reflect. E is establish a caring classroom culture. S is support students' SEL. E is engaging students with creativity and the arts. And T is for tightening up your specific reset plan. And that soft start that I mentioned, it lives right in the middle of that. It's in the establish and the support steps specifically. When you engage a caring classroom culture, which is step 2 of the Reset Framework, you're creating the conditions where students know what to expect the moment they walk in. That calm, independent opening activity tells them, this room has a rhythm to it. This room has some calm to it. There's a place for me here. And that's not just a routine, that's culture building and connection. And it happens in 5 minutes. And when you support students' social emotional growth, that's step 3, you're giving their nervous systems what they need to be ready to learn. A soft start is actually a regulation strategy dressed up as a morning activity. It's SEAL in action. SEAL stands for Social, Emotional, Artistic Learning. It's meeting kids where they are before you ever ask them to perform something academically. 1 5-minute technique, 2 steps of the reset framework addressed before the bell even finishes ringing. That's what I mean when I say the best classroom management tips aren't complicated. They're just connected to the right framework. And they don't take up a lot of time. I used to think that teachers whose classrooms felt calm and purposeful were doing more than me. That they had these systems that I just hadn't figured out. That they had, color-coded their classroom into submission, like what I would always see on Instagram reels. That there was something elaborate happening behind the scenes that I just hadn't seen in my own room and I didn't have the capability for. And then I realized that you don't really have to do anything super special, and yet this is the most special thing you can do. Have things ready for your students when they walk in. Stand by your door. Say each kid's name. That's it. Your room will feel completely different from the hallway the moment your kid crosses the threshold. You don't have to do more, and you may even end up doing less just because you reset your attention in a different place. And that's the classroom management tip nobody puts on Pinterest. It's not about adding more, it's about resetting what you do. Now, I want to ask you something, and I'm genuinely curious about this, okay? What does the first 5 minutes of your class look like now? Not the ideal version, but the real one. What are your students and you actually doing as your kids are walking into your classroom? And I'm going to be honest with you, this is the actual question that I have to ask myself every few weeks because it is so easy to get off track and have your mornings become a little bit more chaotic. And when I do ask myself this question, I realize that there is probably something that needs to be reset, tightened up, right? You don't have to start from scratch. You just start where you are. So while we're here, I want to give you 2 more classroom management tips that are small, they're specific, they fit inside the day that you already have. The first one is the doorway greeting. Now, I know you've heard this one before, but stay with me because if you're like me, you have to remind yourself every so often to get your body at the doorway so that you can greet your kids as they walk in. Say their first name, get their eye contact, 1 second each. That's it, right? It takes no extra time because you're already standing somewhere when they come in. You're just making sure that you're standing at the door instead. Now, the important thing about this is what this does. When you take the moment to greet your students at the door, it tells every student before they can even put their bag down that you see them, that they exist in this room, they are here on purpose, and that is a connection leg of the classroom's tripod dressed up like a classroom management tip. Do you remember the legs from the classroom's tripod? If you want to brush up on that and what that means, be sure to listen to episode 148. Now, the second classroom management tip is a transition warning. And maybe you've tried this one before. It can be very successful and it is worth a quick mention. 30 seconds before you shift from one activity to the next, or maybe you need to give a 2-minute warning, you say, in 30 seconds, we're going to, or you can shout across the room like I like to do, 2-minute warning, and that's it. That's all. For students who struggle with regulation, who fall apart at transitions because the shift comes without any warning, this one sentence can change everything. And if you've done this before in the past, you probably know what I mean. Let's use this more and more. It's a good one to keep in mind for the regulation leg on the tripod. And this move costs you what? 30 seconds? Probably less. Maybe 10 seconds? And if you want, you can even put a timer on the board. One of my teaching buddies does this all the time. And I know the kids benefit from knowing how much time they have left for the task that she's given them. So I hope this reframed what no time actually means for you, because the best classroom management tips are almost never the ones that need more time. They're the ones that are hiding inside the time that you already have. This is part of the philosophy behind all the steps in the Reset framework, and I can't wait to share more with you and go even deeper inside the Classroom Reset Challenge. It's free. You need to sign up. Go to theinspiredclassroom.com/challenge. The link is also in the show notes. And listen, you don't need more time. You just need to know where to look. All right, I'll see you at the challenge. I hope this episode inspired you, encouraged you, or gave you a fresh idea to try. And if so, I would love for you to take a screenshot and text it to one of your teaching buddies. I'm so grateful that you landed here with me today, and it would mean the world to me if you would leave me a review over on Apple Podcast. Thanks so much for being here, and I'll catch you on the next episode. This is Elizabeth Peterson reminding you to get inspired so you can be inspiring to your students and enjoy teaching again.